到。咁首先第一樣嘢咧，當然我哋係多謝咗今次投票俾我哋嘅新東嘅選民，亦都非常非常多謝好多好熱心、好落力嘅義工，係真係好長時間全天候嘅係協助呢個助選，亦都係好感激。
個咪可唔可以冇 echo 啊？
哦，
係咯，或者
唔用啊。
咁首先多謝今日全部朋友嚟到啦，咁我亦都係代表民黨向所有今次投票嘅新界東嘅選民支持我哋嘅新界東嘅選民，非常多謝佢哋，亦都係好多謝好多位真係守護咗好多位嘅義工，係長時間係全天候嘅協助今次嘅工作，仲有咧係都真係講唔出咁感激嘅好多位係民主路上嘅朋友，我哋嘅盟友今次係真係出咗好多力幫助今次嘅選舉。咁我記得咧就最初楊岳橋宣布參選呢個新東補選嘅時候咧，講咗咧呢個好似香港嘅一場球賽。你記得舊年咧年頭嘅時候，梁振英就講咗叫香港嘅市民 vote them out。咁我哋當時就參選宣佈楊岳橋參選嘅時候咧，就話呢個好比個香港嘅球賽區議會選舉咧係第一場上半場嘅一部分，下半場咧就當然係重要啦，但係上半場其實仲有咧就係當時我哋講緊新東嘅補選。咁如果你睇呢兩個區議會選舉加新東嘅補選咧，其實上半場咧我哋係入咗2-0，香港人係入咗2-0。當然仲有好緊要嘅下半場就係9月嘅區議會選舉，同埋呢個9月嘅立法會選舉，同埋跟住落嚟嘅選委會嘅選舉，呢個亦都係香港人係同梁振英佢下咗戰書俾香港人呢個球賽嘅一個非常重要嘅顯示。如果你攞呢個支持梁振英連任，有一個咧就直情咧，你每一次問佢咧，佢都唔敢講。但係另外嗰5個咧，都係好清晰嘅反對梁振英連任嘅。所以如果你攞呢個新東嘅補選嘅結果啊，個投票啊嚟作為一個顯示，你見到如果呢個係對梁振英嘅公投咧，其實65%嘅選民咧都係反對梁振英連任嘅。可以講咧，有35%係唔敢表態，或者有1%到咧係話支持嘅啫，或者唔夠1%。咁所以對梁振英呢個係公投嘅話咧，佢應該落台㗎啦。同埋仲有大家可能留意咧，今次嘅選舉咧，我哋主要嘅對手咧係民建聯嘅周浩鼎，佢嘅選舉策略咧，其實嚟去咧就講緊2樣嘢嘅啫。第一咧就係話反拉布，第二咧就係抹黑公民黨。話我哋係姑息縱容暴力，咁我覺得今次新界東選舉嘅結果咧，其實睇到咧係市民嘅眼睛係雪亮，佢知道我哋公民黨冇姑息或者縱容暴力，亦都可以睇到個好清晰嘅，特別係我哋禮拜日選舉之前，大家見到財委會呢個高鐵嘅追加撥款嘅情況，亦都係之前見到網絡23條嘅情況。你見到其實今次新東補選嘅結果咧，顯示到咧，其實香港嘅市民咧明白喺制度暴力當前咧，民主派喺議會係少數，佢係需要用盡一切議會規則下可以容許嘅抗爭嘅空間，亦都願意俾民主派呢個更大嘅空間。我覺得呢一個信息係好重要。如果你對比翻舊年梁振英開頭嘅時候 vote them out 呢個對民主派嘅挑戰，對香港市民嘅挑戰咧，其實你 到今時咧，你可以睇翻咧，梁振英應該視今次嘅新東嘅選舉咧，係作為一個對佢管治嘅一個警號。佢高壓嘅政策咧，市民係會反彈嘅。最後我亦都想補充咧，就係、楊岳橋咧，其實代表咗我哋公民黨咧，亦都講咗，我哋好明白今次係投票俾我哋嘅市民，或者投票俾7號楊岳橋嘅市民，佢未必真係完全係話支持覺得公民黨係最好嘅選擇，或者7號楊岳橋係最好嘅選擇。不過選民願意俾我哋多次嘅機會，我哋非常珍惜呢個機會。我哋當然每一次選舉之後都要檢討，亦都要深切嘅反省。時代係變緊，市民亦都係求變，我哋亦都係要思考。特別係對譬如9月嘅部署，當然而家咁早唔可能有個結論，但係我哋好明白，我哋需要革新。呢個亦都係我哋公民黨內部同埋我哋會同其他民主派朋友一齊商討嘅事。咁或者我講到呢度，睇下大家有冇問題。Do I need to recap in English? Yes. First of all, on behalf of the Civic Party, we wish to thank all the voters who voted, particularly those, of course, who voted for our candidate. And we also, in particular, want to thank all the volunteers. They have been absolutely great. I mean, no words can express our gratitude to all the hours and days of hard work they have really given for this campaign. And we are also deeply, deeply grateful to all our democratic allies who's been wonderful, who's been very generous, and who's been extremely supportive. We fully understand that those who voted for the number 7 ticket may not have preferred Elvin or the Civic Party as their best choice, but they're prepared to give us a chance because they're concerned with this very critical seat in the legislature relating to the direct election constituencies. So we do treasure this chance they have given us. We will reflect upon what the results are telling us. We have to renew and regenerate ourselves to meet the changing times, and this we will do with the party and also with our pan-democratic allies. The second thing I want to say is that when Elvin announced that we are going to run in this New Territories East by-election, we made the analogy of a soccer match. And we said, you remember last year, I think early last year, the chief executive said that the Hong Kong citizens and voters should vote us out. And we said the district council election was like part of the first half of the match, and the New Territories East by-election was like the other part of the first half of the match. And if you look at the results so far, we've scored 2-0. Hong Kong people won against CY Leung. Of course, we have to face what is perhaps even more critical, which is the second half of the match, and that's the electrical election in September, and also the election committee elections. If you take this as a referendum of CY Leung's administration, you will see that of the 7 candidates, in fact, 5 of them all said they think he's a very bad chief executive and should not carry on a second term. And if you therefore treat this as a referendum of the chief executive, then really he should step down, because 65% of the voters voted in favor of these candidates who object to CY Leung having a second term. During this campaign, our chief opponent was DAB's Holden Chow, and really he took 2 main points. One, he says it's vote out those who filibuster, and the second thing he did was to smear the Civic Party, to say that we were responsible for the violence in Hong Kong. But the results of the election shows that the Hong Kong people can see very clearly for themselves what the truth is. And also, Hong Kong people come to realize that when we are faced with really the unfairness which really amounts to violence in terms of the structure and the composition and the current rules and regulations in LegCo, that Hong Kong people would accept much more creativity in making use of every thing allowed under the rules and regulations to really achieve what is a fairer game for Hong Kong people. So I think this is also a clear message. And in all, I think CY Leung's administration should regard the results of the New Territories East election as a warning bell, because this shows that his tactics of really dividing Hong Kong people and of oppression and of high-handedness really is counterproductive, and Hong Kong people react even more strongly to strong-arm tactics.
Looking at how you said you want to reflect about what happened in this election, could the Civic Party respond to the fact that the localist movement now has more than 66,000 votes? The candidate number 6, Edward Leung, got a lot of votes this time, and it was quite unexpected. It seems like calls for Hong Kong's independence, filibustering, and radicalism is no longer a minority vote. How do you feel about this?
Well, I think there are many reasons why a voter would vote for a particular candidate, and doesn't necessarily have one reason. And if you only talk about localism, which is a term you used, in fact, a lot of political parties in Hong Kong embrace localism, and even the Civic Party, for example, we are one of the first. Claudia Mo, for example, has been talking about localism for some time. And even Financial Secretary talks about localism in his budget speech. So it's not necessarily an indicator for any particular factor. But I think there is no doubt that Hong Kong people want change. And these are changing times, and all political parties and as well as administration need to react to this.
Could you explain your answer in Cantonese as well? Sorry.
頭先你問即係關於投俾其中6號候選人係咪即係等於香港人支持本土或者港獨？咁如果你講話一個投票咧，事實上一啲選民投票俾一啲候選人，可能有好多含義喺入邊，好難講係特別係一個含義。如果你純粹係講譬如本土呢兩個字嚟講咧，其實好多政黨，包括公民黨，都講本土嘅你記得梁振英成日話毛孟靜去拖劫咁即係佢亦都係有好多即係喺電台做節目講泛民本土呢個模範本土咁所以本土即係唔係獨家嘅嘢咯，連呢個財爺喺佢個財政預算案都有講本土係咪？咁但係我覺得一樣嘢係好清晰嘅，就係香港市民係思變，人心係變。咁呢個我覺得係對梁振英政府嚟講反而係一個警號。因為即係你一睇佢一直以嚟嘅上任之嚟咧，都係想即係撕裂香港人，即係樣樣嘢都係好勇鬥狠、撩交嗌。咁即係如果你睇到呢一個咁樣嘅高壓嘅手段咧，其實係即係唔能夠奏效嘅。香港人其實你越壓佢，可能佢個反應係越強。咁呢個我覺得反而係對梁振英政府嚟講係應該係警號咯。
有個其實咧，你頭先咧喺你 opening speech 裏面咧，咁你都冇特別提到即係本土派啦、本期啦，咁你哋都話即係即係 BAB 即係周浩鼎先生係即係主要嘅對手啦。其實點解即係其實今次都6萬幾票都似乎係一個相當即係明顯即係相當 significant 嘅一個即係叫做點解你唔會 mention 係咪你哋仍然都係被當為一個對手咧？你覺得同埋你需要 review 嘅地方究竟係喺邊度咧？所有嘅對手都係一個對手，咁我哋的確，如果你睇翻楊岳橋嗰個競選嘅時候，佢的確即係所有嘅辯論針對都係3號，係咪？即係佢唔係話第二啲唔係對手，但係你覺得即係為香港一個前途嚟講嘅話，咁我哋最主要即係當然係針對呢個對決係民主派對一個即係建制派啦，喺呢度咁樣嚟所以係呢個點解我提到頭先係講緊我哋主要嘅對手係針對我哋嘅地方咯。咁你會覺得即係今次咁成個選舉當中有啲咩係你哋已經見到係需要即係深切即係一個反思或者檢討嘅地方咧？即係尤其面對9月嘅選舉。我哋覺得就當然呢一個選舉同9月當然係有唔同嘅地方啦，因為即係今次補選只係講緊一個議席啦，9月當然係講緊即係
即係呢個多議席單票嘅情況啦。咁我相信即係所有嘅政黨都係需要考慮呢個問題嘅。但係即係如果你話係咪即係激進就等於就我哋大家係要走嘅路線呢？咁我自己就有兩個睇法咯。我覺得其實你話激進同保守呢係一個相對嘅一個詞語或者一個形容詞。我記得即係唔係咁多年前啫嚇，即係當公民黨講緊5區公投嘅時候，我哋係被評為激進嘅嚇。咁你睇到時間時代人嘅睇法係會變嘅。咁相對激進或者溫和咧係唔同嘅詞語，同埋咧亦都係講緊一種相對反應嘅情況嚟嘅。即係如果譬如你個政府越係高壓嘅話咧，咁嗰個反對嘅聲音咧，越都係可能係趨向一個即係越激嘅一個情況。所以即係我第二個諗法咧，就係覺得呢個主要我哋係要翻去睇政府佢自己本身佢嗰個取態咯。如果你個本身嘅政府佢個取態係諗住我同你市民對抗嘅，咁你係逼嗰個社會撕裂，同埋你逼嗰個社會係越走越激，呢個對香港嚟講實在上真係唔係一個好事咯。反而即係你嘅政府一個負責任嘅政府，你要聽到市民係有怨氣，覺得喂你個政府唔係回應緊市民嘅時候，你真真正正聽到回應嘅市民嘅時候，個市民咪唔會激咯。咁所以當你話人心變嘅時候，其實都係一個相對係一個即係 action reaction 嘅情況咯。你嘅政府高壓嘅時候，咁個市民係有一定嘅反應啊嘛。咁所以點解我話大家睇呢一個新東嗰個結果咧？其實真係你要睇翻嗰個主因，即係點解香港市民係會人心思變咧？係咪香港人真係好中意變咧？其實你係梁振英逼到佢咁咯，好多嘢係逼出嚟嘅咯。咁我覺得呢個係亦都係即係新界今次新界東補選可以俾大家睇到嘅少少嘅啟示咯。
咁問翻梁振英咧，之前都即係鬧呢個公民之前線啊，即係嗰啲人士或者啲搞蘇聯嗰陣時嗰啲係一啲暴徒啦，佢哋最尾就攞到6萬幾票，呢個會唔會影響到你哋之後嗰個抗爭手法？你話你用即係可能會需要反映市民，其實可能接受你哋，可能佢進一步有啲抗爭項目嘅意思。其實你哋有冇咩計劃？同埋想問翻 Eldon 仔，入到議會之後最想係做啲乜嘢？就嗰個譬如話高鐵撥款啊，同埋網絡23條，你自己有冇諗法咁樣，即係去幫市民去擋住？
不如我俾佢答埋前面嗰部分啦，好嘛？
因為當你唔係問我咧，其實我今日個腦唔係好轉啊。不過我可以答咗後面嗰 part 先。其實面對入到議會咧，即時要做嘅就一宣誓之後咧，即時嗰個 item 就係網絡23條噶啦。咁如果有正常嘅話，我會願意係就呢一樣嘢發言啦。咁我亦都係會準備好充足嘅法律觀點咧，希望可以係喺嗰度辯論嗰度咧，係提供一啲理據咧，係說服市民點解我哋係要堅持嗰3項嘅修訂嘅。咁至於高鐵撥款嗰度咧，我哋睇到喺星期六開始，其實民主派已經係團結起嚟係去行動噶啦。我係願意咧係參與埋，成為團結嘅一份子咧，一齊係去抗衡呢個高鐵嘅。總之任何民主派大家集體決定嘅，我哋係攻守有序，我哋係會一個團隊嘅形式去做。我唔相信我一個人入去，我唔係要突顯我一個，我係希望成為大家一個力量嘅一部分。
想問下即係今次嘅選舉之後咧，睇到即係本民前嘅得票咧，有啲人會解讀為咧香港市民對於即係武力或者暴力去抗爭，認為往後落嚟係一個可行嘅方法嘅。公民黨認唔認同？同埋即係大家都會好關心9月嗰個選情會點樣影響嘅。睇到今次嘅選戰咧，即係你哋嘅黨咧同本民前都唔會話好針鋒相對或者好激烈嘅一個辯論啦。其實9月裏邊，你哋對本民前嗰個定位係會覺得佢係一個主要對手，還是都好似今次咁，大家係有商有量有得傾嘅？
首先講清楚，即係我哋嘅基本嘅原則先，因為我哋係從來都係反對暴力嘅。我哋覺得即係香港係大家都係希望一個即係穩定嘅一個社會啦。咁暴力係好 大嘅一個問題咧，就係、尤其是如果你冇底線咧，你可以好容易咁傷害到其他無辜嘅人。咁呢個係我哋唔願意見到嘅。咁至於你話嚟緊9月我哋個主要嘅對手係咩人呢？咁我哋當然係覺得一直以嚟香港應該係落實真普選，咁我哋係希望係同其他嘅民主派可以有合作嘅空間。我哋亦都你睇到我哋公民黨其實創黨以嚟，我哋一路都係同其他嘅民主派係盡量去溝通，同埋係即係合作嘅。咁今次嗰個新東補選呢，其實都係一個幾好嘅一個例子，俾香港市民睇到，其實唔同嘅光譜嘅民主派呢，係可以走埋一齊，係即係盡量去合作嘅。但係至於人哋肯唔肯同我哋合作，當然呢個唔係我哋嘅控制範圍裏邊啦，係咪？咁所以我哋只可以話我哋會盡我哋最大嘅力量啦。咁但係都要好多嘢都係要睇雙方互動咯。
即係正如你頭先所講啦，即係可能你哋願意伸出隻手出嚟同人哋合作，但係未必係可以其他即係本民前嗰啲可能都已經係講咗話，即係未必係可以係協調或者係合作嗰度。咁其實嚟到可能9月嘅時候，再有一啲係散合組織亦都會出嚟嘅時候，其實會唔會見到嗰個形勢亦都唔會同今次2月嗰個選舉係一樣？即係可能你哋點樣評估係可能係呢場係硬仗啦，定係其實你哋嘅部署上面都要開始作準備？
好多時候即係遇到呢啲問題嘅情況咧，我相信嗰個人係好關鍵嘅。咁我唔知道即係你哋大家有冇留意，即係譬如今次嘅選舉，我自己見到好多個場面，但係我特別最近咁印象一個比較深刻嘅場面咧，就係喺點票站嘅時候，咁你記得係其實6號同7號嘅支持者咧，都喺山頭嗰度咧坐埋喺隔離嘅。咁啊到有一刻咧，就係當時係未知道結果㗎。咁但係有一啲票箱開咗啦。咁阿楊岳橋就去到後邊嗰度咧，就同佢啲支持者諗住去多謝佢哋嘅。咁佢好想即係嗌上去嘅時候咧，但係咧就隔離對嗰啲支持者咧就要蓋過佢嘅聲音咁啊，開始叫口號咁。咁當然因為令到楊岳橋嘅支持者又覺得好躁動啦，想要又覺得點解係當我嘅候選人嚟同我講嘢嘅時候，你要蓋過我嘅聲音咧咁。但係即時楊岳橋就請佢嘅支持者冷靜，佢話我哋到呢個時刻唔需要去爭一時嘅意氣，人哋做得好嘅地方，我哋都應該恭喜人哋嘅。咁一句説話，其實就輕描淡寫，可以即係減少咗一啲無謂嘅爭拗。所以即係我覺得呢個係我哋嘅出發點。呢個我覺得亦都係我唔知係咪因為楊岳橋嗰個名度有個橋字啦佢嘅係少啲溝通，我覺得呢個好緊要咁我相信即係嚟緊你講緊9月當然有好多唔同嘅派系啦、組織啦，都會可能會想參選。我哋公民黨會盡最大嘅努力去同大家去協作去溝通。咁但係頭先我都講咗啦，係雙方嘅嘢啦。咁如果人哋唔溝通嘅話，咁最終咪由選民去選擇啦，係咪？
Looking at the results, do you think there should be any cause for concern or worry, seeing as how there's this affirmation of radicalism and more support for localism and radicalism in Hong Kong? How do you think that's going to affect the political landscape?
Well, I think you can't sort of jump to one conclusion and read a certain result as an affirmation for a particular factor. If you use the term radicalism, for example, I mean that's a comparative term. I think not that many years ago, when the Civic Party decided to take part in the 5-district referendum with the League of Social Democrats, we were described as radicals. You know, it's not that long ago. So everything is comparative, and also it's an action and reaction sort of situation. When the government is being very, very high-handed, then people will react much more strongly. So I think in a way, as I keep saying, that the election result actually should signal a warning to CY Leung, telling him that his sort of vote them out tactics, his hard tactics, and his line of, very provocative line of trying to divide Hong Kong people is not going to work. It will just drag Hong Kong into even more confrontational situation, and radicalism may be in fact a reaction to CY Leung. So that's, I think, what we don't want to see.
I have a question for Alvin really quickly. There are hold your LegCo seat for very long. There are a lot of concerns that you may not be able to achieve much in your time in LegCo. How do you feel about that? Do you think you have any plans or ways you want to ensure that you do achieve what you can while your time is there?
Well, I'm always optimistic and I'm always willing to do my best. And when you're talking about September, I think it's too early to say.
But in terms
係
of
我哋
your
俾啲未
plans
問
over
過
the
嘅問題
next
先，
few
我
months?
講聽。
我都係想問翻，其實今次睇翻個票數係贏1萬票啦，贏建制派周浩鼎。咁會唔會擔心9月嘅時候可能覺得有啲平負啦？同埋會唔會喺由而家到9月啦？咁因為你哋嘅票數可能好大多數都係傳統泛民嘅支持者，你會做啲咩去爭取翻多啲年青人嘅選票？咁問下一問。
對唔住啊，我要撈翻嘅，係
未瞓醒。
今日個腦都慢。
未瞓過。
係傳統泛民支持者，其實咁嘅，我相信即係傳統泛民支持者，佢哋係會自己去判斷究竟即係我哋所提倡嘅有原則有底線係咪真係適合佢哋。而我相信經歷咗2月28號呢次補選之後，我哋係更加有信心，我哋知道選民係會接受我哋呢一套有原則有底線嘅形式嘅革新嘅。咁正如我不止一次咁講，我哋相信民主派唔係今次呢個選舉唔係淨係公民黨，唔係淨係楊岳橋嘅選舉，呢個係我哋民主派一齊去做嘅選舉，所以先至點解有咁多盟友係鼎力協助，因為我哋相信我哋嘅一套共同嘅價值，呢個價值就係我哋非暴力嘅原則。咁所以我相信未來嘅日子，我哋都會係秉持住呢一套嘅方向，一齊努力去做。至於話即係年輕選民嘅話，我對香港年輕人亦都係有信心，我亦都相信大家如果係為香港好嘅話，亦都係會作出一個正確同埋適當嘅選擇。至於去到9月，一套乜嘢嘅選舉策略先係最正確呢？我相信就係民主派如果係能夠提出一個解決香港問題嘅辦法，能夠提供到希望嘅話，我相信我哋依然係能夠挽回，無論係年輕人又好、中年人都好嘅信心同埋支持。
想問多次咧，其實即係本目前嘅本土派啲政黨都講到明會同泛民有任何嘅合作或者係協調咯，但係即係公民黨似乎都仲係希望合作，會唔會話係佢哋自己講一廂情願嘅諗法咧？同埋即係如果仲係繼續咁樣話要合作的話，擔唔擔心今次俾人攻擊，譬如話你哋縱容暴徒啊，或者一啲武力嘅人咧？咁喺下次選舉裏邊會繼續有一啲咁樣嘅聲音會出現，同埋都想問下楊岳橋，即係今日林鄭月娥司長都話希望你入咗去議會之後，希望同你合作，你會有咩回應？
咁我答咗先啦。
你答咗先。
咁睇得起我？我相信即係多謝林鄭司長啦，我亦都希望政府如果能夠係釋放出善意嘅話呢，唔止一個楊岳橋嘅，成個公民黨乃至成個民主派呢都願意同政府合作嘅。但係當然前提就係佢哋願意釋出善意，同埋係願意即係改變佢哋以往嗰種即係敵對嘅態度咯嚇。
我頭先都講咗，即係我哋不嬲做即係任何嘅選舉又好，或者做事嘅方式又好啦，都係希望可以同其他嘅民主派係可以有溝通嘅地方嘅。你知梁家傑其中一句名言成日講嘅，我都要俾啲機會佢一陣講嘢。你哋要問下佢，要問下佢問題先得。即係佢成日都講話民主派冇分裂嘅本錢，所以我哋覺得即係大家都係應該係即係抱住呢個心。但係我亦都講咗，即係呢個如果人哋唔同意嘅，咁我哋亦都冇辦法，咁咪交選民去決定咯，最終。
跟住想問翻咧，其實你頭先都講話上選民經濟求變啦，但係睇翻Alvin今次 profile 佢係比較特別嘅，即係佢係有專業嘅資格啦，同時亦都有抗爭嘅 track record 啦。咁你覺得嚟緊立法會選舉，公民黨嘅部署係咪喺其他區？即係我知道傑哥諗住退啦，但係其他區係咪都應該加快去革新，即係俾多啲年輕人上位？同埋另外一邊就係Alvin同梁天琦咧過去咁多個論壇有好多個交流啦，你嚟緊可唔可以即係代表民主派啊，或者同佢哋可以加強多啲嘅溝通交流，睇下可唔可以帶啲嘢翻嚟咧？
我好高興，其實你問我前面嗰個問題，因為咁啱，即係等我可以買下廣告，即係公民黨咧就係做咗10年。啱啱好今年係我哋10週年，咁我哋其實都要重新諗過，即係我哋以前講過嘅嘢有冇需要即係更新啊、革新啊嘅地方咧？咁亦都你可以睇到咧，其實我哋創黨嘅時候咧，我哋係講咗，即係我哋嘅目標咧，其實係民主接力，我哋係希望係即係長江咧係真係後浪推前浪，咁所以我哋嘅部署一直以嚟，我哋每一次選舉你都見到咧。 其實我哋都係希望係有新人出嚟㗎。雖然咧，我發現咧好得意㗎，每一次嘅選舉咧都有唔同嘅聲音嘅。有啲人咧，我喺街度幫阿 Alvin 助選，啲人梗係話：點解你唔選啊？你選咪好咯。咁我話，但係同時即係你又話民主派係咪成日都係老餅嚟嚟去去都係嗰啲咁？咁即係我諗香港市民都睇到，即係我哋係非常鋭意係每一次我哋都希望有新嘅面孔。所以我相信9月嘅立法會選舉，我哋都係一樣係希望有新嘅面孔。但係你唔可以一次過新晒嘅噃，係咪？你一定都要有啲舊人喺度，因為始終你接力你都要有成全，同埋你完全新人佢議會嘅經驗欠缺嘅情況咧，佢亦都未必係運作得最順利嘅。咁所以即係我哋係一直以嚟，我哋由創黨開始，10年前創黨開始，我哋一路都係部署。係更新，係革新，係跟住時代去變嘅，所以等於我話幾年前即係人哋夠話我哋激進啦，係一樣嘅道理啫嘛。
咁跟住我答你啦，就我相信即係同任何嘅政治團體，只要係有我哋有任何嘅共通點嘅，我哋都希望能夠進一步交流同合作。其實呢個唔單止係局限喺某啲嘅政團㗎，其實我哋同公民社會嘅連結，我覺得呢個係唔能夠停止嘅。尤其是即係面對住剛才提及嘅政黨需要革新，或者我哋民主派喺議會裏邊嘅工作需要革新嘅時候，我哋更加需要同喺議會外邊嘅朋友多啲嘅聯繫，咁樣先至係可以團結我哋嘅力量。
So 2 more questions for Alvin. The first one is you have mentioned a bit that voters want some changes. So what do you think are the changes that you can bring to Let's Go? And the second thing is just now Chief Secretary Carrie Lam also said that she wants to work with you effectively. How would you describe the relationship of pandemic with government? Do you think you can do anything to work effectively?
Well, I am overwhelmed, I must say. Of course, I'm always willing to work together with the government on a mutual, respectful basis. And let's not forget, if the government is more friendly and less confrontational towards the Pan-Democrats, then I'm sure not only Alvin Young, but all Pan-Democrats and the Democrats members at Let's Go are willing to work together with the government. So let's not focus on one single phrase or one single sentence, but let's focus on their attitude. That is the key word. And sorry, I forgot, what was the other question again? I think after this election, the voters in Hong Kong, they have sent a very strong message to us that we have to change. We have to get together. We have to work more closely together, not only at Let's Go, but also outside Let's Go with the civil society. So this is something we have to work on.
By what means do you think you can achieve such communication within the public? What concrete things do you think you should do?
Well, say for example, when we are trying to filibuster some certain bills, we have to not only work at Let's Go, we have to go to the public, we have to tell the public that why we're doing that. We have to give reasons and we have to gain support from the public. That is something we have to do.
我希望咧，中央政府咧，如果過去嗰18年幾咧係未曾研判正確咧，今日都應該有再重新研判嘅必要。同香港人鬥硬咧係冇用㗎，因為香港人係講道理嘅。請你用道理嚟說服我哋。我哋爭取嘅係我哋自從80年代香港討論回歸開始嘅一啲承諾嘛。咁你中央已經由2014年嘅610白皮書到831人大常委嘅3個決定，清楚咧係背信棄義嘅。喺咁嘅基礎上面， 梁振英仲喺度日日撩交打，希望咧撕裂香港，將即係中國共產黨啊嗰一套鬥爭嘅手法咧搬嚟香港，希望咧香港人打香港人。咁佢做咗咁耐，其實我希望佢明白呢一套咁樣嘅手法係唔奏效嘅。頭先講點樣係有效嘅溝通，其實最有效嘅溝通就梁振英先落台先啦，因為咧而家你睇啦，梁振英就一直喺度叫陣，就同香港人宣戰，蘇錦樑連報紙都賣埋嚟到抹黑呢個民主派。咁但係今次選舉嘅結果，我都好清楚話俾中央政府聽。呢一套咁嘅手法，香港人係唔接受嘅。香港人係會有理有節，我哋亦都我好相信絕大部分嘅香港人係仍然擁抱一個非暴力、有底線、有原則嘅抗爭。咁所以希望回歸根本咧。至於你話嗰個公民黨嗰個本土嘅論述咧。我亦都可以預告一下啦。我哋即係喺上一年換屆嘅時候，我已經同大家講，公民黨咧係會趁住10週年呢個契機，喺呢個承先啟後嘅一刻，我哋係會重新審視我哋嘅當年個創黨時候嘅一啲論述。我可以預告喺我哋10週年嘅慶典嘅一刻，我哋係會同公眾交代一下，我哋點樣睇未來嘅10年，基於過去10年嘅基礎。咁所以咧，就呢個係可以大家拭目以待嚇。
我諗用幾個字講咧，即係梁振英叫陣，香港人上陣。
我想問點解睇呢個選舉結果對梁振英上北京兩會嘅時候上北京嗰個影響咧？
如果大家有跟過我出街去嗌咪嘅，你都知道我嗌咩咪㗎啦。我就話咧，如果大家最憎嗰個梁振英咧，大家想佢上京嘅時候面目無光，想佢咧係上去不能夠邀功咧，咁啊大家咧就千祈唔好俾民建聯嘅周浩鼎當選。咁我好高興今次選舉結果，令到梁振英可能聽日後日上呢個兩會上京就一定咧就要俾阿習近平照肺啦。正常嚟講係咪？咁你叫陣2次即係呢個球賽上半場同上半場加時你都輸晒，咁你仲有面冇？正如主席指出，如果睇票數，近70%嘅香港人係投咗票，叫你快啲走啦。咁所以我希望中央政府咧亦都可以回應下呢個民情嘅。我真係好想講一句，我係非常之珍惜呢一個香港人俾公民黨嘅機會。呢個機會咧係我哋要回應到市民嘅要求，係點樣可以喺有底線、有原則、非暴力嘅抗爭之中見到希望。呢個係公民黨希望工程，我哋一定會回應香港人俾我哋呢個機會。
想問而家你確認咗阿楊生咧會參與9月份嘅立法會選舉，仲有一個問題咧，點樣睇今次個整體個投票率係有少少嘅偏低喎，同2012年相比？
有票。
以正視聽，呢一間房冇人宣佈過參與任何形式嘅9月選舉啊！冇啊，因為請大家清楚記錄低楊岳橋並沒有宣佈參選9月選舉啊。
同埋黨嘅其實整個選拔嘅機制咧係剛剛開始咗係未曾完成啦。咁所以咧，大家亦都係要等一等嘅唔係話即係佢補選到係大晒㗎嘛，係咪？黨係有機制㗎。
有冇點睇個投票即係今次可能都即係叫做有啲人話覺得偏低嘅，咁同埋即係有啲球員你哋即係計翻傳統發明嗰陣嗰啲叫做可能流失咗啲咁樣，咁你哋有冇諗下要點樣去做翻大嘅或者去吸引翻一啲冇投票嗰啲人去？
其實咧就你話今次補選啦嘅投票率低咧，其實又唔係真係好低嘅。 即係我咁樣講啦，即係我估咧，如果唔係有年初一嘅事件咧，我相信會更低。咁即係當然呢個亦都係梁振英嗰啲奸計得逞啦。即係梁振英咧就成日想咧，就係令到個選舉氣氛咧，就最好係低到咧選完人哋都唔知嘅，咁啊最正。咁但係咧有陣時我都相信有啲天意嘅嚇。咁今次咧就我覺得喺作為一個補選嚟講咧，其實新界東選民出嚟表態嘅係唔少㗎啦。咁我哋都透過票箱係收到晒所有選民嘅信息。我哋係會繼續努力去做好呢個香港人嘅希望工程。我哋係一定會珍惜呢個機會，做好呢一個工作嘅。正如頭先有唔止一位記者朋友都有提及啦，即係我其實老早已經講咗，我下一年係唔會選㗎嘛，即係下一屆。咁其實而家對於我作為公民黨黨魁嘅工作咧，最緊要嘅咧就係點樣可以交棒，係俾一個真係新嘅團隊。呢個團隊咧係可以俾到香港人一個堅持非暴力、有原則、有底線抗爭嘅希望。呢個係我諗我剩餘落嚟6個月嘅工作咧最重要嘅一環。咁我希望能夠做好呢一個工程，咁就好頭好尾啦，係嘛？
最後一條嘅梁生想請問下，即係你點解會認為即係年初一嘅事件會令到呢個投票嘅人增加，同埋覺得有出現一個暴力事件反而會令到有更加多人關心政治？多啲人出嚟投票咧，就係因為梁振英對於呢個年初一事件嘅反應實在好多人憎，好多人憎。咁咧就大家就覺得喂，唔可以俾梁振英咁樣嚟到去即係屈香港人㗎，又唔可以俾佢上去北京攞威㗎。咁跟住咧，由於佢實在都太過態啦，做啲嘢，咁所以咧香港人開始咪真係關心一下，喂唔好喎，雖然係補選得6個月貨色，咁短期喎，但都要出嚟表下態喎。咁我覺得個態度表達係非常清楚嘅。正如頭先講，呢個票箱係經已説話，我哋係會繼續俾到香港人見到一個希望嘅希望工程，我哋會努力去做嘅。多謝各位。
我尊重每一個人投票嘅意向。